So this all happened during what was supposed to be a relaxing summer escape, our first real vacation as a family in over 3 years. We had booked a 2-week rental near Lake Huron, this gorgeous little cottage just a few blocks from the shore, complete with a fenced-in yard, a barbecue patio, and yes, its own private pool. I'm Mark, 36, and my wife Lena is 34. We've been together since college and married for 8 years. We have a son, Sam, who just turned 5. Honestly, leading up to the vacation, things felt off. Lena had been distant, but I chalked it up to stress. She'd been working long hours at the firm, and I'd been busting my tail finishing a huge project before we left. We both needed a break. The cottage was everything the photos promised. Lena seemed lighter the moment we arrived, sun hat, sunglasses, humming to herself while unpacking. Sam was already begging to jump into the pool. For a while, everything felt perfect. But here's the thing, the pool came with its own maintenance guy. His name was Ryan. Mid-20s, tan, chiseled in that way guys who live outdoors seem to be. He came by every 3 days to check chlorine levels, clean out the filter, skim the surface, etc. The first time he showed up, Lena offered him a lemonade, which I thought was just being polite. They talked a little, she laughed at something he said, and I noticed it lingered a little longer than necessary. Not enough to raise alarms, just a flicker of something. By the second visit, I felt something strange. I had gone into town to pick up some groceries and came back to find Ryan and Lena sitting under the umbrella by the pool. She had changed into a different bikini, one I hadn't seen her wear in years. It was revealing, and she looked incredible, but the way she crossed her legs when I walked up? The quick flicker of surprise in her eyes? It made something twist in my gut. I asked her later about it, and she brushed me off. He was just finishing up, she said. I offered him a drink because it's boiling out. Fair enough. But that night, I noticed she was checking her phone a lot. And she wasn't being subtle about tilting the screen away from me. The next few days followed a pattern. Ryan would show up, Lena would suddenly be in a great mood, and I felt like I was just background noise. Then came the day I came home early from a walk with Sam. I'd taken him to the little pier to fish and got a migraine halfway through. We cut it short, and as we walked up to the house, I noticed something. The pool gate was open, and Lena's towel was on the lounge chair, along with Ryan's backpack. I told Sam to go inside and play his tablet in the living room. I took a deep breath and walked toward the backyard. I didn't even make it to the patio before I heard them. Voices. Giggling. Water splashing. There they were, Lena and Ryan, in the shallow end of the pool. She had her arms around his neck, laughing like she hadn't laughed with me in months. Her hair was wet, slicked back, and she looked completely at ease. Carefree. Like a teenager sneaking off with the boy next door. I backed away before they noticed me. My head was pounding, and not from the migraine. I didn't confront her that day. I didn't even mention it that night. Instead, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering how the hell we had gotten here. Had I been blind? Had she just stopped loving me quietly while I was busy being a good dad and working overtime? Part of me didn't want to believe it. Part of me still doesn't. But I saw what I saw. And something in her smile that afternoon told me it wasn't innocent anymore. The worst part? We still had 5 days left in that house. 5 days of pretending everything was okay. 5 days of wondering if I'd find them again, maybe this time not just laughing in the pool. I tried to pretend, for 5 agonizing days. Pretended I didn't see her in the pool with him. Pretended I didn't hear her silencing her phone when she thought I was asleep. Pretended I didn't feel like an unwanted guest in my own family's vacation. But I wasn't sleeping. I was watching. I started noticing the small things. She'd take longer showers after Ryan's visits. She started wearing makeup in the mornings, even if we had nowhere to go. She never touched me, not even in passing, no quick hand on the shoulder, no kiss on the cheek. Just polite smiles, like I was her brother or something. On the third to last day, I decided I needed confirmation. I set up my phone in the laundry room window, facing the pool. I felt sick doing it. But I also felt sick not knowing. I told Lena I was taking Sam out to the arcade in town, gave her the usual kiss on the forehead that she barely registered. Left at 10 a.m., came back at 1:30. She wasn't inside when we returned. Sam went straight to his room to crash, and I walked through the kitchen, my heart pounding. Through the glass door, I saw them. She was lying on one of the lounge chairs, legs crossed, wearing his t-shirt over her bikini like it was the most natural thing in the world. He stood between her legs, one hand running up her thigh. I saw her reach up and pull him down. I didn't need to see anymore. I calmly locked the back door and went into the laundry room. My phone had caught it all, crystal clear. I didn't feel angry, not in that moment. I felt hollow. Like I'd been emptied out and replaced with someone else. I stared at the footage for maybe 20 seconds, then hit stop. Saved it. Emailed it to myself. Then I sat on the edge of the bed and waited. They didn't come in for almost an hour. When they finally did, Lena came in first, still wearing that t-shirt, face flushed and damp. She stopped when she saw me sitting there. "Hey," she said, trying to sound casual. I didn't say anything. I just handed her my phone. "You might want to take a look." She frowned, took it, and hit play. For a second, her expression didn't change. Then the blood drained from her face. "Mark." "Don't," I said. My voice came out flat, barely recognizable. "Don't insult both of us with a lie." She sat down slowly, like her legs couldn't hold her weight anymore. "It wasn't supposed to mean anything. It was just, he made me feel alive?" I cut in. "Young? Desired? I know the script." "I didn't plan for it to happen," she whispered. "But it did. And it kept happening." I turned to her fully now. "And you let it happen while our son was in the next room." The silence that followed was suffocating. "I need to know something," I said. "Was this just a summer fling, or have you been seeing him before this?" She looked down at her hands. "I met him last summer. At another property. He remembered me. It started with just flirting. So it wasn't even just a vacation thing. This had roots. Intent. You could have talked to me, Lena. You could have said you were unhappy." "I didn't know how," she said, barely audible. "You're a good man, Mark. A great dad. But sometimes, being around you felt like living with someone who already made peace with everything. Like you didn't need anything from me anymore." That stung. I stood up, not trusting myself to speak. "We're finishing out the week here for Sam. But when we get home, we're talking to a lawyer." She started to cry, softly at first. "Please don't do this. We can fix it. I'll end it. I'll do whatever you need me to." "It's already broken, Lena. You broke it the second you handed something sacred to someone who didn't earn it." I looked at her then, not with hate, but with the numb clarity of a man whose world had shifted and hardened. "There's no going back." That night, I took Sam out for ice cream. We watched the sunset from the dunes, just the two of us. He was laughing at something he saw on a seagull's head, carefree, innocent. I hugged him tighter than usual. Lena barely spoke the rest of the trip. She slept on the couch. Ryan never came back. Maybe she texted him, maybe he just had enough sense to stay away. It didn't matter. When we got home, I filed. Quietly, cleanly. It's been a few months since then. The divorce is in progress, and we're navigating shared custody. Lena has apologized more times than I can count, but some things don't unburn once they've turned to ash. And me? I'm starting over. It's strange how a summer meant for healing uncovered something that had been rotting all along. But I've learned that betrayal doesn't start with the affair, it starts with silence, with avoidance, with 1,000 tiny choices not to speak up. But I'm speaking up now. Not for her. For me. And maybe that's the real beginning.